Welcome back. We're going to be breaking some more ground with Brennan this week as far as racing is concerned here on our show with Brennan Willard. Has been another busy week. Mother Nature is always in the battle early, isn't she?
Have you ever heard of a race being canceled for wind? That was a first for me, but it was a good call. Like, we went Thursday to test, and the weather was really nice Thursday night
In Tulsa.
And then, of course, everybody knew the weather was coming, and I kind of wondered. I went to bed and was texting Ernie Leftwich, is our new series director, which he was with MLRA, and Ernie's a good friend of mine. I'm like, "You sure we're racing tomorrow?" He's like, "Yeah, we're all right, I think, maybe." I'm like, "Look at that forecast," and I don't want to tell him nothing because I've been, as you know, I've been the guy getting the phone calls for rain. So I try to leave everybody alone. I've been on every side of this racing deal. And so we went to bed, got up for a phone call that the race was canceled, which was a good call. Like, we're in tractor trailers. So all of us are in haulers, and driving a hauler in 60-mile-an-hour winds is not safe. So we, nothing that we do is safe, right? But that seemed really sketchy. So we just decided, once they called that off about 10 o'clock Friday morning, we made the decision to stay and wait out the storm until it passed through. And then once it passed through, we left Tulsa, I think, 9 o'clock Friday night, drove to Springfield, and then got to Jerry's World, and weather turned out nice, and Jerry gave us, once again, a perfect race. Honestly, I told him that racetrack was great all night long. So he just really gives us a good place to race, since I think there was 40 cars there, for 5,000 to win, which is a lot of cars for 5,000 to win on our dirt late model race.
Full program that night also. I think car count was a little over 100.
Yeah, it's insane too, because that was down for him, and him and I are good friends, and talking like, man, some of our classes are down, and there was testing tunes, and everybody's trying to get their weekly shows ready, and so, but it was really a good show, a good racetrack, and I need to go back. I have not went back and rewatched the feature yet, but from where I was sitting, it was pretty exciting all night long in the feature.
Tim Culp of Prattsville, Arkansas, wins the feature. You were, in the top 20? We
were, shout out to Timmy Culp and Capital Race Cars, Brandon Ernest. That's an old door. This is last year's door back here, but it's got Ernest Performance on there for a reason. Brandon and I have been friends forever. He did all my shocks at I-44 Speedway. All my wins were on Brandon's shocks on asphalt. He was Bill Fry's crew chief, and he helped us a lot last year on the Capital deal, and they got Capital race cars going. And Timmy Culp's a good race car driver, and he'll be good in those cars. And so I was happy for them guys, Shane Clanton and all those guys. Like, they've put a lot of effort into it. So obviously I want our cars to win, or me or Tony or whoever we're with that week. But it was good to see. I was happy for Brandon and Shane and everybody for them to get a win. And Timmy's been really fast. He won the championship in 19, I think. But we'll see. Moyer's been fast, and I think he's second in points now. But
Billy Moyer Sr.
Yeah, been around a little bit, huh? And I'm giving him a hard time. He's my travel buddy. But we had a really off night early. We qualified 7th and got in a wreck in the heat race. And halfway through the heat, had to go all the way to the back, and that just got in a wreck on a restart. And, leader brake checked everybody, and which is absolutely chicken crap. But he got by with it, and that's okay. And he's young, and it is what it is. But we got caught up in it and turned around because of it. So we got to come from the back and put us in a hole in the B. Had to use a provisional to get in, which sucked. But it is what it is. Started 23rd and drove our way to 15th. And I was really happy with the speed we had in the feature. Just we started too far back, and it is what it is. But we went from a really, we qualified decent. We made a couple mistakes early in the night, and we would have, I think, qualified better than that had we not made our mistakes as a team. But we live and learn, and got through there, and really probably could have been a little more aggressive there towards the middle of the race. And looking back, I wish I would have, but you replay every lap. It was a 35 lap feature. I wish it had been 40. Our car was better the longer we ran, but we didn't have anything for, we probably had a 10th place car. And we think ended up 15th. So, okay, I guess result for what we had after the night started. But, looking forward to, we were going to test today, but obviously wind and the temperatures look kind of terrible. So we'll take this week off, which is much needed after 3 straight weeks, and regroup and get ready to go down south next weekend.
Today's show being brought to you by Faber Caterpillar and also by Schaefer's Oil. What'd you do with the car at Springfield from hot laps to heat to feature?
We screwed up and put the wrong gear in early in the night and read the box wrong and completely put the wrong gear in for qualifying. So that was embarrassing. But, made changes throughout the night. Obviously, Springfield is very any track around here is going to be abrasive and hard on tires. When I-44 is dirt, it's very hard on tires. Whatever Jerry's done to the racetrack the last 3 years has really helped tire wear. So, throughout the night, we were getting the car tightened up because it was slicking off. They did. One thing about Hoffman, he's always going to prep the racetrack before the feature, and he put a lot of water down, watered it in, and gave us a place to race top to bottom. And at that point, we had to decide if we're going to race it. I had to decide quickly, top or bottom, and I felt like the bottom was better where I was. So we had the car tightened up quite a bit for the feature, and maybe could have went a little more. But honestly, I feel like in a weird way we've been struggling more in the slick than the heavy lately, and that was the best our car's been in the slick. And so far in a long one for me. So I was really happy with the car and how we were able to move forward. Didn't get the result we wanted, but we moved forward and kept moving forward and kept moving forward. So you can move forward 8 positions in a feature. It's making progress for sure. It wasn't an attrition race either. It wasn't like we got a gift there. We drove up through the field. So I was happy with that. And hopefully we'll get a chance to test in the next couple days somewhere. And I got a couple things I want to try, and then head to probably to Texarkana. I guess it's we'll go to Texas, Greenville, Texas, and then Texarkana. And I don't know if it's in Arkansas or Texas. It's the most confusing dang thing ever, right?
Right there on the line.
It's on both. So I don't know what state we're racing in on Saturday. But if it rains there, we will go to probably go to McQuilquit, Iowa, to the Nippy 50 with the Mars Series opener. Just watch the weather and see. And hopefully the weather's good in Texas. But this time of year, you got to have a backup plan. So we have plan A, B, and C all set up, ready to go for next weekend.
Talked about the mishap. What was the damage to the car?
Not bad, just quarter panel and just body work, and very frustrating. And then come back. Actually, we had to spin to mess a wreck in the first lap of the B, but I laughed though. In the B, it was both Kriglers, Justin Wells. Wow, Dad gum, Cole Wells and I were all on the B, and I felt like there's 4 of us in that B that really get around spring. Like Cole Wells has won the Turkey Bowl. Krigler's won the Turkey Bowl, like previous Turkey Bowl. Like people you would have thought, probably most people didn't have us in a B either. Like people you did not think were going to be in a B were in that B, and all in the same one together. I'm like, this is awesome. So, but we really had a really good car in the B. Just time we got spread out and figured it out, it was just too little too late. I just made some mistakes early in that race too. It just put us back, but like I said, we drove forward and had a pretty good run there in the feature. So I think we're 10th in points and right in the top 10 and kind of where we need to be. So obviously you want to get better each week, and we're looking for improvement, and we'll get it.
When you points race for a championship, you gotta be on hand for every event, don't you?
Not only that, you have to race every lap and realize, the Simpson brothers used to, MLRA point racing. I would watch them, and they never finished out of the top 5. And you look at B.J. Robinson on the comp cam side, you look at those results every night, and for the end of the night, BJ's in the top 7 or 8, and usually top 5. And if you think you're going to beat that guy at a championship, you're going to have to win a lot of races. And we do not have winning speed right now. We're working on it. We're going to get there. But to win a championship, you're going to have to win several races. And, I think us finishing the top 7, 8 in points is where we need to be this year, and that's a realistic goal. But you got some pretty good guys down there. And another thing is you go down south, and we're getting ready to go to 2 tracks I've never seen before again. And that's down in those guys' neck of the woods, and they know what's up. So there can be good and bad in that. Like I said last show, I don't have any bad habits at those racetracks. I've never seen them. So we'll be 2 laps and get up to speed and get ready to go. And no practices scheduled for those, good and bad. Tulsa, we had a practice. So that was, we were prepared if we did race in Tulsa. But you laugh about practices. The first car in the pits to practice Thursday night was Billy Moyer. And I'm laughing. I'm like, man, he's been around here more than all of us. And, here he is testing. He's the first car there on the track to test. So if Billy Moyer's testing, you probably need to be too.
Yep. Chris Jackson of Lebanon, he wins a B-Mod feature. So
that's not a shock, is it? Same old. So those cars that was a new J2 by Chris. I didn't get to watch that race, but you knew that was coming. They're on their game. Those cars are really good. And I did watch a little bit of the Midwest Mod feature. It was really entertaining race. And if you've not been to Springfield Raceway, you got to go. It's really good racing, 3, 4 wide throughout the field. Every class put on a really good show. And that's all you want is to see a good side-by-side race when you go to the races. And, most their weekly shows will get 140 to 150 cars, and they'll pack the pits and put on a heck of a show for you.
Tony Jackson Jr., he runs 7th in the late model main. He
was not happy with that, and he might have been in the worse mood than I was after the races, but their cars have been pretty good. They're headed north next week to Illinois and Black Dirt, and I think when you get him up there, he's going to be pretty tough. And I know he's running for the Mars Championship, and that series looks like it's going to be stout. Shannon Babb's running it. Tony, Jason Fagers. There's a lot of guys that, Illinois guys, and those Illinois guys are really good. And you go run with them for a year, it's going to make you a lot better race car driver for sure. But I think they were not happy with how their night ended, but they were trying things, and I'm sure they'll be ready to go next weekend. So he's going mod racing this weekend, and $100,000 on the line down there in Salina, Oklahoma. So that's going to be everybody's attention's focusing on the mods this week.
And you've got an announcement to make as far as the mods are concerned.
Yeah, we're going mod racing too. So pretty excited about that. We never planned on going to this race. We'd planned on going to the King of America. And that was before the schedules come out. When MLRA got canceled, we decided to reach out and get a modified, and there's a lot of big paying races around here that are on the modified schedule. And so we ordered a modified, and we got a Vanderbilt car from Zach Vanderbeek, and pretty excited about that. And very nice race car, and never driven one really. I guess we made one A-Mod start in 2014, and Larry Shaw's house car when Tony was driving it, and they had a late model race, the Diamond Nationals, and I had never driven one in my life. And he's like, "Hey, you want to race mod this week?" Sure, sounds like a great idea. We were off from I-44 that night, and that's the extent of my A-Mod racing. So we're gonna need to test, and so we're gonna get that car on the track pretty quick. And big shout out to Scott Bailey. He hooked us up with a really nice piece under the hood for that, and Bilstein's come on board to help us out on shocks and Swift Springs, and everybody's really helped me do that, and just try to make sure, if we get rained out for a couple of weeks in late model, we can load up and within an hour and a half of home have someone to race for pretty good money. So there's a lot of $5,000 to $20,000 to pay to win modified races around here, so we'll try to go hit a couple of them up this year and see what happens.
Who's helping out on your pit crew this year?
Joe Gottsley's coming on board. He's been in Australia the last 3 weeks, so that's it's going to be nice when Joe gets back and help crew chief. Landon Harris has been a huge help this year. Went with us to Vado and helped out. And then Greg Burgess has helped out too with Landon. And those guys have really, Mason Mudrin come on and helped the last couple of weeks just to fill in the gaps because it's two full-time people really is what it takes to go up and down the road in these things. And so those guys have helped out to kind of fill in the gap while Joe's been racing in Australia. So he gets back this week and hopefully be back next week and be ready to go. And that kind of helps everything. Your crew chief and your crew chief really makes everything go. And Vinny Giuliani has been a huge help for us at VG Performance, and Bill Steen and all those guys have really helped out a lot. So couldn't do what we were doing without their help. And of course, everybody at TJR, Tony, and those guys they put the mod deal together for me and helped me out there, and obviously help us out a lot on the late models. So it's been a lot. We've been in Indy the last 2 days doing a seat pour. Didn't think I would drive to Indianapolis for a seat pour. Didn't have that on my bingo card, but I want to give them guys a big shout out. What they do, the technology in our seats is incredible. And Sharp Advantage, got Dave Sharpley with Sharp Advantage, does every seat pour on his own. He's literally came from Indy cars and took the technology used in an IndyCar pour and put it into sprint cars. And it's been a huge safety innovation. And, a lot of people were breaking their backs in sprint cars and from wrecks. This has helped reduce that. It's helped on the late model side of things. Wish I would have known about this a couple years ago. I don't think anything would have kept my back from getting broken. But, we're doing the best we can. We have carbon fiber seats. We're doing the best we can to stay safe. And, Simpson Race Products has been a huge product sponsor for mine since 2012. And, with the safety advances we got, that's helped. And then the seat inserts help. And I don't think they just help safety. I think they help your overall not getting tired in the car. And, it takes a lot out of you for the short races we run. It does take a lot out of you. So being able to be comfortable in your seat's a big deal.
Well, the racing scene around the Ozarks is starting to get cranked up. I know Lucas Oil Speedway, they've got Full Body Madness this Saturday. They've got UTVs on their off-road course on Friday and Saturday. Midway practice sessions next to Fridays. They open up on April the 4th. I-44 Speedway, they practice on Saturday. And then they've got the Show Me Chaos coming up on April 4th and 5th.
So I'm going to try my best not to be at I-44 on Saturday. So I just stay away and don't look at the asphalt cars. Don't look at the little shiny thing in front of you, right? Keep yourself out of one. But
Chargers, Crown Vics, late models, street stocks, and the Bandoleros at I-44.
Bandoleros those are neat. And, we got baseball with Braden, but we're watching. And I've been on air, and if he'll race on Thursday nights, we'll have a Bandolero, so we'll see what happens. But if you want to get your kid in racing, it's a really cool idea. And, I'm looking forward to watching those run, and we'll see what happens there on that aspect of it. But racing's here. Full Body Nationals this weekend's a big deal. The Cash Money Late Models are rebranded as the 4-State Late Model Series. I think there's a lot of changes there that are good. And so that'll be a big race for them. I think it's $12.50 to win. And, of course, the King of America next weekend at Wheatland. So there is a chance that our modified will be there. We'll see what happens with the weather. But it is officially race season in the Ozarks. And Hoffman bookends it. He's got the first and the last race of the year. And it's kicking off in full swing now. $100,000 to win a modified race Saturday night in Salina, Oklahoma, which is an exact size of Lebanon I-44 Speedway, within 10 feet. So if you wanted to see I-44 as a dirt track, go there. And it's a fun place to race. One of my favorite racetracks to go to. And wish our car would have been done, but we might go check that out. We'll see. But a lot of racing coming up, and get your subscription to whatever channel you're watching, whether it's Flow, Race On, Race XR. There's a lot of subscriptions you can get out there and check the racing out. And give Pat the NASCAR race. Like, they actually had a good race Sunday. Josh Berry won on talent, and that was cool. What the biggest thing that my big takeaway from the week is this, and it made me think you watched it. I don't know if you've seen Carl Edwards' interview with Dale Jr. yet. It aired last week.
I've got it archived. I have not seen it yet.
Do you remember the day that his retirement was announced? We had a radio show that day, and we had Kenny Wallace on that day, and nobody knew, including Kenny Wallace. And I will never forget the day Carl announced his retirement. And we can probably hit more on that next week after you listen to that, and I'll give us something for next week. But if you're not listening to that interview, go listen to it. Very interesting. Really, really, just really went into depth of where his mind was. And so that was, I just immediately thought back to that day where I was in Columbia and we did our show remotely that day. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we were all caught off guard. And I remember sending Kenny Wallace a text, like, what the hell, man? We played poker all night long. You could have told me. And he texted Carl and was like, and we literally were drinking beer and playing poker that night. And we're like, we should he's like, we ought to text Carl. I'm like, he ain't coming out anyways. Little did we know he wouldn't have came out for a whole nother reason. And that was, it was very interesting. So we'll have to hit on that next week. But if you guys want some history of I-44, Ozarks Racing, pretty cool interview with Jamie McMurray on Kenny Wallace's show last week too. And talking a little bit about Jamie's roots and Jamie being here. So it's been a cool week, busy week. Holy crap, busy week in the racing world. And I'm really actually ready for a weekend off.
All right. Brendan, appreciate it. We'll talk to you again next week.
See you next Wednesday.
All right. Our show today brought to you by Favorite Caterpillar and also by Schaefer's Oil. We'll break some more ground with Brendan next week. Thanks for joining us.